your name?
Bhavani.
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 Yeah.
Where's
It's
that?
Indian.
Tell us about that.
That's a long story.
Good.
It's always a good conversation starter, actually.
Yeah.
Well, my parents are Hungarian, but they're hippies from the 70s, so hence I got an Indian name.
Mm-hmm.
We all changed our names.
And what did your mother call herself?
And my mother's name's Samboda.
And your father?
Well, he's still George. He went back to George.
What was your mother's name originally?
Marika.
Uh-huh. Marika.
Marika. And I was
Right.
born Melanie.
And do you speak any Hungarian?
No, my parents, when I was born, were trying to get as far away from their background as possible. So we went travelling in a combi van around Australia and with a big sun painted on it.
And do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
We took off, I was born in Paddington, and we left when I was about 2.5 and went travelling all around Australia, lived in a few communes and ended up back in Sydney.
Do you still do that?
No, I'm trying to get away from that now.
So what, you're in banking, commerce?
No, actually, no. I'm a singer.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of like to have a lifestyle with some stability because I grew up in a very free-form environment, so...
But was that good? Do you regard it as a good background?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think there's good and bad to everything. You know, people look through my photo albums and go, wow, that's so cool. But, you know, there's... I think some people had a stable upbringing. That was pretty, you know, I would have liked that as well. But there's some really good things I learnt from it. What did I learn from it?
About life, of course, in general.
About life. Well, my parents are very idealistic. They've always told me just to go for what I want to do. My father would never do anything just for the sake of money. So it has to be something that's for the good of the world. So they now have an organic fruit and vegetable business, which is they're really doing really well with. And it just, they've never put boundaries on me. And I realised that, you know, I don't think people should live just for the sake of, you know, making enough money to get by. And, you know, I think it's really important to have happiness and peace. That's the most important things.
How do you get there?
I guess I am like them.
There you go. You can't fight it.
I know.
But you don't mind.
Pardon?
You don't really mind.
No, I mean, they're really good people, and they've always, you know, they're very supportive. I've been through a lot in my life, and they've always been there. You know, a lot of other parents, I think, would have freaked out or.
At some of the things you did like.
Not so much things I did. I'm not a rebel. I tried to rebel. That was my problem. I could never rebel against my parents. They never let me rebel because everything I did was cool. But I just had some, when I was around 16, I had a bit of a breakdown, and my parents just, I mean, I think a lot of other parents would have just, you know, freaked out and not known what to do, and my parents just told me it'll be okay, and I got through, and now I feel strong. You know, I don't worry about things like madness, or I don't have fear of that kind of thing, because I know you can get through everything, you know. So
they provided you support when you really needed it and made you stronger in a situation that it could have been difficult for you, could have been turned out differently.
Yeah, I think so. I think if they had have panicked themselves, I may not have got through. I'm sure they were panicking, but they didn't show me. And I got natural help. I didn't take any drugs or anything like that, and I came through and became really strong. And I'm not saying I don't have hard times now, but I always know I'll get through now. You know, that's the difference. And
did you ever fight with your parents over anything?
Yeah, I had some issues with mainly my mother. She I think had a lot of expectations of me. My dad, neither of them really did what they wanted to do, which is probably pretty typical, but my father is very intellectual and academic minded, and that's the way he wanted me to go. My mother's really into glamour and you know, that kind of thing, and she wanted me to go that way, and I kind of went through the middle. And so it was, you know, it was a kind of, you know, I'm the first child, so there's 4 of us. So I guess you get quite a lot put on you when you're the first child, and your expectations. And I had some interesting experiences when I was young And
what do you mean by that?
is it allowed to say this on camera? When I was about 5, I had magic mushrooms, and I had a bit of a trip, and I never wanted drugs after that.
It was not a good trip?
No, it was quite funny actually. My cousin and I, we were living in like a commune, and my cousin and I were, because they were growing in the fields, we were living up around Byron Bay, of course, and they were growing in the fields, and my little 3-year-old brother used to pick them and eat them and say, oh my God, the house is falling down, and things like that. So anyway, I was a bit older, so I knew I couldn't pick them and eat them, but I was asking, could I please have some? In the end, I had some, and my cousin did, and she was in the bath turning the water on and off and jumping up and down, and I was running, and there was cartoons on the ceiling. That's a 5-year-old tripping out. And
good cartoons?
I can't remember which cartoons they were, but anyway.
And they moved on the ceiling?
Yeah, there were cartoons on the ceiling. And it was quite a frightening experience. I was crying and I didn't like it very much, so that affected my life quite a lot. I've been a jazz singer for years, but I'm just moving into doing my own stuff now. Writing your own material? Yeah, I write my own material, and just on the verge of being signed with a record company, so I'm waiting any minute to hear. So the phone could ring any minute. I see. So well, you'll better take it if it rings. So we're talking to a virtual star. Possibly. I hope so.
You hope so. One thing we haven't covered, of course, is the question of men.
Oh, men.
Remember them?
I never forget.
Do you remember your first kiss?
I do. Yeah.
When and where and how?
How old was I? I was about 8 or 9, and I was going to this school called Sunrise, and had about 20 kids in it. It was called a progressive school, New Dawn in Education. That was their motto. And this was in Belrose, and we had a big paddock with an old bus in it that we used to hang out in, that we painted and stuff. Anyway, I agreed to meet this boy who I was going out with behind the bus after school. And my girlfriend was coming with me for support. And anyway, they were saying to me, they were both there, and they were saying, he's going to close his eyes and count to 3, and after 3 you kiss him. And I couldn't do it. I was just freaking out. So my best friend did it to show me how to do it. and then, okay, I can do it. And I still couldn't do it. So he decided to kiss me, and I thought it was disgusting. I dropped him. I went home and I said, you wouldn't believe this boy kissed me, and he just took my whole face in his mouth. It was disgusting. So that was it.
How long did it take you to get over that? Or have you ever got over it?
Yeah, I'm over it.
What was the last time?
The last time would have been yesterday.
With who?
With my boyfriend.
Yeah, what's his name?
Carl.
Carl?
Yeah.
Tell us about Carl.
Carl is probably the opposite of me. Carl has his own business. He's got a mobile phone business. He's got about 6 shops throughout Sydney. He's an English guy. And yeah, it's strange. I never thought I'd go with someone like that, but it's been quite a good balance.
How did it come about?
Well, I was singing in a club in the city, and where all the suit boys hang out, and that's where he was. And he approached me, and we chatted, and he said, can you take me out? And I said to my mum, I don't know what I'm doing going out with a man in a suit, because I'm not used to it. I'm used to musicians.
Yeah.
And she said, you never know. She was right.
She was right.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It's about just over 2 years ago.
Oh, quite a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not just weeks.
Not just weeks.
Is he still wearing suits?
He'll be wearing suits forever.
Yeah. What did you like about him? What was it that...
His voice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really listen to voices. That's a really important thing to me. I have my life and he has his life, and we come together and have a really good time together. So I like it like that.
Where are you heading off now?
Going to meet my grandmother at the State Library. Going to watch some films on the different religions of the world.
For you or for her?
She really wanted to do it actually, but I'm really interested in the different religions. At the moment, I guess I'm more into philosophy kind of stuff. So
and hopefully a record contract.
Yeah, I'm definitely into a record contract.
Can we stop you for a sec? Are you going to water flowers?
No, I'm watering plants.
Plants, sorry, yes. Around offices?
Yes.
Why do you have to carry this big can? Can't you get a cart?
No, it's easier for me to, especially if I have stairs leading up to the office buildings.
How many plants do you water a day?
Depends entirely where I am and how many flowers I do. Could be in hundreds, 500s, depends entirely, yes.
And that's all you do? You just water the plants?
That's right.
All day?
Yes.
Do you get a relationship going with the plants?
I think so.
Do you recognise each one?
Oh yes, I know everyone. I know if any one of them have been moved in any way. Yeah.
What happens if they're not doing terribly well? Do you have to fix them up?
We try to. Sometimes the elements are against us.
Yeah.
So it's better just to take it out, put it back in the glass house, let it get revived and its normal conditions and humidity, and then put something else better in.
So how many times do you go back to the same plant?
I'm there once a week, every week.
How long have you been in this business?
I've been there 12 years.
You must like it.
I do, yeah. It's interesting.
You have plants at home?
Oh, yes. I'd rather be out in the garden any day than doing housework.
Do you do a lot of watering of garden and plants at home too?
Yes, yeah. I enjoy that.
That's
it's very therapeutic, yes.
What's your favourite plant? Do you have one or several?
Indoor plants or outdoor?
Indoor.
Candia palms are one of my favourites. I also like the happy plants.
Yeah.
But anything that flowers, that looks good, yeah.
Tell me, what about your husband? He's not in the... Is he involved at all?
Well, he's in the gardening side of it. He enjoys getting out in the garden on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
But
that's not his trade?
No.
What does he do?
He's actually a washing machine refrigeration mechanic.
Right.
He has his own small business.
And it sounds as though you both have very busy, full lives.
We do.
Who ends up doing the washing up and all that stuff?
Well, I find he enjoys cooking more than I do now.
Where did you meet your husband?
Would you believe ballroom dancing?
I would.
Him with 2 left feet.
And he was there. Was this the first time for you, or?
Yes. Yeah. We were married 24 years on Sunday.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What are you doing for anniversary?
I don't know yet. We'll probably be recuperating from working on Saturday night.
You have to do something.
Well, we'll work it out when it gets there.
So what about the ballroom dancing, though? I mean,
that went ages ago.
But when you met, was that something that you were doing regularly?
Yes, yeah.
Both of you?
Yes, yeah.
Was it to meet people, or was it just to dance?
No, it was. I was only 15 at the time, so I was out with girlfriends and we used to go to classes every week, and just came along and met, and that was it.
And do you remember that evening?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So him with his left feet. You obviously remember that part.
Yes.
What were you dancing?
We danced the jive. We did the progressive barn dance. So this is all very basic stuff in those days. Yeah.
And he'd asked you to dance, had he?
No. He was actually in the lineup as we were going around, and I got stuck with him on the jive, and off we went.
How? From there, he asked you out?
Yeah.
You must have liked your moves.
Yeah, well, I think it was actually after a girlfriend of mine. It didn't work out and we ended up together. So.
Oh, I see. Let me ask you about this interesting medallion around your neck.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's the yin and yang sign.
Okay.
The hubby has the other half.
Does he? Was this a special occasion?
It was Valentine's Day, actually.
This year?
Yeah.
Who bought it?
We both saw it at the same time, the jewellers, and thought, that's a nice idea. So we both wear one.
So there's a bit of romance there still after 24 years? Yeah.
Yes, there is.
He might have left feet, but he's still romantic.
Oh, yes, he is.
Does he buy you flowers?
Not very often, but he does. Yeah.
What do you like? What are the little things that...
Oh, just to have a nice home-cooked meal ready for me. Yeah, overnight
time. What does he cook really well?
He'll cook anything. He enjoys cooking. Yeah. So whether it be a one-pan slap-up dinner, if we have extra guests coming or what, it doesn't matter. He'll do anything.
What's the most elaborate thing he's cooked?
Oh, gosh. We've had 3-course meals with wine. That's if the kids aren't around, which is not very often.
Right. I'm ready. How come you're out now? You're working?
I'm in the... Yes, I've been working all day, and I'm just about to go to the bank and pay off some bills.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you can. What do you do?
I'm a solicitor. If my partner sees me like this, she'll just die.
We don't want that.
No, I know.
Now, most people think of solicitors as being sort of caught up in court all day, but you obviously got some time to go to the bank and pay some bills.
In my line of work, I do a lot of court work, but I've got a lot of office work to do too. So I have assistants who
do
go
that.
to court a bit, but I go quite a bit as well. It's just I can't do everything.
Yeah.
So,
What sort of area do you specialise?
yeah, personal injury law.
Right. Is that why?
Oh, years ago I wanted to be a doctor, but I never quite was going to make it. So
Couldn't stand the sight of blood.
yeah, exactly. I think that was the big thing. But and then I got an interest in the law, and I thought it was a good mix. So you do a lot of medical issues, obviously, and helping people in work accidents and motor vehicle accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah. And do you now feel you chose the right thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I get to do the medicine, but I don't get my hands dirty.
And what are the sort of things that you get involved with on a daily basis? Is it sort of traumatic? Is it
Oh
stressful?
yeah, look, I just had a guy come in today who had 2 really bad accidents. He was only 36 years old. His leg's broken in all sorts of about a dozen places on each leg. He's got a bit of brain damage and he's severely incapacitated.
What sort of
He'll never
accident?
work again.
Car accident or work accident?
The first one, he got bashed in a hotel a few years ago, and then he was recovering from that. And the second one, he was walking home along the street without a footpath, and a car hit him coming the other way.
He's not a lucky guy.
No way, not at all.
So how does he end up at your office? I mean, how
He
does
was actually referred to me from a friend who knew that I was a solicitor. He's from the country, and he wanted a Sydney solicitor, so he went up in my office. But I'm half good guy, half bad guy. I do work for insurance companies, and I also do work for people who are injured themselves.
Yeah. And what about your partner? Why is she going to die?
She's a very private person.
Yeah.
And
Solicitor?
we met at law, and at law school, and she's a solicitor, but she never practiced. She's a social worker, and so she went back in that. She saves the souls, I make the money.
Is that how you both see it?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. When you're not working, what do you do together?
Oh, I travel.
Yeah.
We just had 3 weeks in Africa, which was a blast.
On a safari?
Yeah, then we did safaris. We spent a bit of time in some of the cities. We went to South Africa and Zimbabwe, but mainly safaris and animals. And tonight we're sorting out all our hundreds and hundreds of photographs. So if anyone's watching, I'd recommend that they go to Africa. It's fantastic.
Life-changing?
Oh, it is. When you see people... I was a millionaire in Africa, in Zimbabwe. Their economy's not as strong as ours, obviously, and I think a packet of cigarettes was 40 cents, so if you're a smoker, it's a great place to go. But most of the people survive on this stuff called sudza, which is a mixture of corn, maize and wheat, and it looks like mashed potato, and vegetable stew. And that's what they eat every day of their life. So when you come back here and you think, well, when Mum used to say, eat all your food because those starving people in Africa, you know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Can I ask you, what is your... No, you don't want to say your partner's name, do you? Because she's a very private person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everyone that knows me will know her, though.
Okay. How did you meet it? You were saying it at law school, and then what happened?
I was a law clerk, and I never went to lectures. Well, law, much.
Whoa.
But I was working, and would often miss a lecture or two, and she sold me her lecture notes for $250, which, can I tell you, 10 years ago when you were a student was a hell of a lot of money. And we just took it from there. Yeah, we started going out.
This girl does have a very good sense of commerce.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're just best friends initially, and we're really amazing. We've been together 10 years. I can't believe it.
Yeah. And yet, are you similar or different? I mean, she sounds very different.
She's very, like I said, she's a private version. I'm a bit.
You're an extrovert?
Absolutely.
And she's an introvert?
She's not. She loves me when I'm at home and under her control. When we go out, she hates me.
I see. But she's put up with you all this time.
She has. I often think of that.
What is your background? I mean, did you get into law?
I got into law really late. I did really well at school, but had absolutely no idea about anything in the world, and didn't know what I wanted to do. And a lot of my friends had fathers who were bookmakers up in Queensland, and I got a job on the racetracks penciling for them for a while and doing a couple of labouring jobs. I was basically fluffing around, and Dad would be saying, you've got to do something with your life, son, blah, blah, blah. And when I hit about 23, 24, I started thinking, well, I think he might be right. So I started doing a bit of reading, and I got really interested in politics and the constitution of the country and how it's all put together, and how society works, and how we all don't run around with spears anymore like we did 1,000 years ago, killing each other. And I started reading. I thought, wow, this is for me. So that's how I got into it.
Right. And what about the social aspect? I mean, what about the, where you fit into your profession? Do they think you're a bit of an outsider, or have they accepted you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you
know?
I
professionally, there are a couple of lawyers around town, especially in Sydney, who sort of make the papers a lot, and have got. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of them. I do things my own way, but I wouldn't say I step on toes or rock the boat.
Right. You're not going to change the world, legal world.
I don't think so. I mean, it does need
changing.
You might
tinker at the edges.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm a bit older, and there's thousands of committees that do all that sort of thing, and when I've paid off half my mortgage and I've got a bit of spare time, that's something I'll probably do. But the law is continually changing, and there's always people. And it changes very slowly. But if you look at where we are now and where we were 100 years ago, it's got to be a better place.
How much of what you do involves a sort of sense of justice and fairness? Is that an issue for you?
I was in court one day, and this poor injured worker was saying, "I came here for justice," and the judge said, "Well, you're in the wrong place." But no, those issues are always in the front of your mind, and you try and do justice for people. But you've got to remember that it's an exercise in assessing what two people say. One side says one thing, another person says another, and you gather evidence and all sorts of things in support. But at the end of the day, you have an independent person being the judge who's going to decide, and he doesn't know either party from a bar of soap, and he might get it wrong from what really happened, and because someone presented a bit better in court.
Should you go home and talk about this?
At home,
yeah.
My partner hates me talking. I nearly said a name. My partner hates me talking about work.
Yeah.
But when you do get a bad result, you think about it.
Did you buy any things in Africa?
Oh, heaps.
Yeah?
Yeah, great things, especially Zimbabwe. I keep talking about Zimbabwe. I did go to other places.
Yeah.
But you go to the markets there, and they've got beautiful carvings, wooden stone carvings. And you say, "Oh, how much is that?" And they go, $80, and you sort of do your calculations, about $4 Australian or something. And I always used to say things to them like, "Oh, will you take 100? And they get really confused. They go, and they think about it, they go, "Yes." So I was there just sort of giving money away hand over fist. And
why did you do that?
I shouldn't, but I just thought to me it's $1 or $2, and to them it's a hell of a lot more than that. Yeah. We used to go to the races a lot until I lost all my money there, and we weren't allowed to go back ever.
Now let me get this straight. You used to drink, gamble.
No, yeah, everything.
You were a handful.
Yeah, I can't believe she's still with me. But you wouldn't know me today. I'm reformed. But what else do we do together? Oh, we go to the opera. We go to the symphony. Sometimes we go to a league match. Sit on the hill and have a hot dog. We haven't got any kids, so we've got plenty of time to spend.
Do you plan to?
We better hurry up. But yeah, no, we're thinking about it. All our friends are having kids now.
I'll let you go.
I bet I'll go and do it now.